10th at 10:08 a.m. on a Tuesday, which is Mars Day. So how's everybody doing? I didn't send out any notices to anybody about this video, so I'm just kind of, this is going to be an energy update and just a what's going on in the energy right now. And if you're finding this video in December of 2024, around the 10th, or even later on, or years from now, okay, or months from now, whenever you're finding this video, your energy is going through some of these processes that I'm going to talk about. So basically, you know, all these changes with Antares and Ophiuchus that I'm going to talk about, and how to pick up on the energy and what this energy brings into the collective, and then even some of the things that I'm dealing with and seeing in the game because of these energies. That's what point you're in, or about to enter into, whenever you find this video. So Mercury's first, I'm going to start talking about the sun, because it doesn't matter if you have these energies in your chart or not. I need everyone to understand that like, you come in when you first came, like when the first one from your DNA line came into the matrix, came into this realm, into this incarnation cycle, you had all your pieces. You had all your cosmic pieces. They were already cosmically attached. It's like you are the wheel. There is no lines and planets. You have connections to the whole thing. By the time you get back to one, you're gonna have connections in the whole thing throughout your DNA lineage. And not just in the spirit, the people that have been walking in this wheel attached to your DNA lines. So if you don't have these energies in your chart, then that means that you're already supposed to know. You didn't anchor in any of that energy. You didn't anchor in Ophiuchus 1, number 25, which is Sagittarius, 20 to 25 degrees, which is where the sun is about to be. Now, when the sun lands on Ophiuchus 1, you can go pull up a picture of the Giza Plateau and the pyramids, and how the architecture and how it's all lined up is perfect with the cosmic alignment, how the sun comes into the building and how the moon lines up, and oh my gosh, Mercury's lined up too. So that is this energy. Ophiuchus 1, number 25, is all of the space cosmic energy that is attached to the human race, that exists in fields in space, is coming out of space and connecting to the tops of the pyramids, to the tops of the monoliths, to the tops of whatever, across space-time, no matter when it was built. If it was built in order to harness cosmic energy, it's one big unit. You can think of it like one big Disneyland on Earth. That's how I think of it, because it is. It's kind of Ophiuchus 1 is the first Disneyland ever made, but it was made over eons of time by our ancestors. Disneyland just freaking knew that and made a little pretend park out of it. So the sun's not quite there yet. It's gonna come into orb at 20 degrees. It's gonna come into orb at 20 degrees. So over the next 5 days, that is what's anchoring. What's anchoring, and if we're talking about 5D versus 3D reality, what's anchoring is the 5D reality into a 3D infrastructure that's had to be upgraded in the quantum on the in-between by all the moves that we have made clearing the bloodline for the past 7 years. All the moves that you have made in the quantum, or your guides have showed you how to, or you've been creating timelines, or you know, if you've been whatever you've been manifesting and walking for the past 4 years, for sure, all of those moves are kind of like up in the clouds, literally. And as this cosmic energy and these 5D timelines start to come in, it's gonna don't. Why? Because there's 2 timelines written on it. There's 2 timelines at least written on that cosmic energy in order to make it do whatever they want it to do versus whatever we asked it to do. And how we asked it to connect. So these in-betweens, and so this is the time skips, time standing still. Oh my gosh, I'm in the same place that I was 5 years ago. Or oh my gosh, I'm in a different place than I was 2 years ago. And everybody in the room's different. These are all new people, but they all have the same names as the party that I went to 2 years ago, is a great example. We're seeing a ton of this right now, a ton of it within. I mean, this is even the UHC thing and that mess. Malibu's on fire right now. Pepperdine University, you shouldn't have stole the land. I know exactly what that's. I mean, that's connected to Fort Worth. I mean, this has been going on for so long. But Malibu being on fire right now I know exactly why it's on fire. Because Malibu was holding a connector through a body. So realize that Malibu's on fire because the connection into the land wasn't grounded into a group of humans. We unwound the humans from the land. Same thing that happened to Hawaii. A little bit different on how it went down, but it's the same physics. Now, right now too, because this is why we're seeing fake money in the backpack. We're witnessing literally like Mickey Mouse, like somebody like I mean, Disney came and wrote this whole thing with this UHC thing. I mean, the Notre Dame. I know Notre Dame, really. Like you're gonna open and call it the whore of Babylon. You're gonna open up and you're gonna bring Stinky Winky over there to Rumpy, and you're gonna bring the 2 enemies of the divine feminine into Notre Dame, which happens to be the building that we personally blew the top off of whenever we opened up Flagstaff in 2018, because that was me that threw that energy ray off the racetracks and off the tracks. that freaking fire, that was one of the first things. We had just finished those Isaiah 54. We had just finishing and walking Isaiah 54, cleaning all the sexual energy trauma off all of us. Because I don't know if y'all remember, but I want you to really fucking close your eyes and think back to 2018. And I want you to think back to 2018, 2017, and all the years before it. And I want you to think back to your sexual trauma. And I want you to compare how you feel about your sexual trauma and your ability to be able to talk about it and be able to get over it now versus back then. because I mean, we had to clear it. Isaiah 54 is what blew Notre Dame. And it's because you want to call us the whore of Babylon when we're all fucking virgins. That's another example of this energy. The other one is I even posted this on TikTok, these money moves that Hollywood was extorting money from all of us, pretend characters that were having us send them money over the past 4 years. Now, there was a bunch of different reasons from a divine masculine perspective that was going on in a processional count, because I played the role of the masculine. We were having to move money around in different time counts. Why? Because large amounts of money were paid, like we were bought, we were sold, and they were just selling us back and forth, moving money around back and forth. And so we had to get in the game. The problem is these are all Epstein, basically it's all Epstein accounting. It's Mason accounting. So basically they're having you send the money that matches up to a transaction where they had stole it before, they had gotten paid for something before, they had bought the gun, whatever it is. They bought the poison, they did whatever it was. Like, this is how they were doing it. So, but then they'd come to you and tell you that they could, I mean, and what's nuts is sometimes whenever you did pay them the money, you would somewhat get what they promised you. Never happened with me, personally. I mean, it realized that Hollywood was basically selling force energy. So it's like they had a genie tied up, but it was the divine feminine, and they knew how to make us manifest things. You know, that backpack with the Monopoly money in it, we had several situations where the handlers around us had fake money in the walls, fake money under the stairs, fake money under the floorboards, coins under the floorboards. They know how we manifest. And what I want everyone to realize is that we're rewalking creation right now. So I mean, this is coming out to be how United Healthcare got started to begin with, off of murder and some fake money or some stolen money. Now, what's funny about that whole thing is not even funny; it's horrifying. But a lot of the stuff, the dealing with the skeleton keys and the stuff in Anaheim and the journey that I happened matches up to this Louis guy. For me, it was like when I met Louis, I knew that at that point in time in the journey that I was dead, and it was like we were the ones that were sacrificed in the line, and we were the pure souls that were about to be sacrificed, and we met. He ended up going to the French Rave in LA on Olive Street. I didn't. But I had to allow a demonologist literally to help me get out of there. But I had already done a healing on him before I got there. Like it was this complete fucking spiritual setup. Well, this is what they were doing. This is what Hollywood and the music industry. I don't care if you're seeing them on TV. There's in their contracts, there's something that was attached to these units, and they worked in large subconscious units. And whenever they send out these frequencies for their units to go do, their units to go do something, it's all because the real spiritual beings that hold the power, they got to get around them and get you to mirror them or give it back to them or get mad at them and throw them anger or throw them love. You know, they love bomb you. Sometimes they just show up to piss you off. Just you can't engage. Like you can engage, but don't get upset. If you get upset, don't engage because it'll fuck you up. If one of them reaches out to you, don't communicate with them until you can do it without getting angry or getting upset. But they're all looking for this 5,000 right now. Well, what they don't know is that I already repaid that 5,000. I did it in 2021. We changed the timeline. It had never been done before. Here we are 3 years later, and they're just now looking for that 5,000. But they have I already paid it. I already cleared it, and all the channels are mine. And we went and cleaned them up from 900 years before as well. So to all the handlers that are out there running a handler system, I need everyone to realize that if you're asking anybody for money right now in December and you're asking for 500 or 5,000, what you just proved is that you sold somebody and you bought somebody and you put them into an avatar situation so that you could walk around in their body. If you're asking for $5,000 right now, that's what you're asking for. At some point, these entertainers are going to fucking figure this out. They have to. They're in our DNA. They've been eating us, bleeding us dry. We're inside of them, like literally. This is also wheat. How did the star people first make connection with the human race? We sent wheat down here. What's the most genetically modified, or was the first genetically modified thing down here? Wheat. What happens whenever you're going through ascension? There might be 2 years where you cannot touch wheat. Why? Because what wheat does was it makes your body immune deficient whenever it's not purified wheat. I'm not talking about the wheat that actually comes from the barley, that actually comes from the land that somebody grew on a farm, like out in the real deal. I'm talking about the wheat that they give us in the United States, the genetically modified wheat. And what that does is it breaks down all the little forgot what they're called, in your stomach. Villa. The villages, villa. And then you can't process it. That's why the wheat makes you bloat up. You have to go through a period to where you have to reheal that. You will be able to eat wheat again. Your stomach just has to heal and build up the villi. Well, I mean, I just explained that to give you an idea of how long all of this has been going on and what was built up on something else. None of this just started overnight. That's obvious. We've been building these timelines for 7 years. There's no way that we can start on year 9, on year 1. It's impossible. So you know what's being undone are these layers of an onion that have existed over time. But what I really with all the crazy crap that we're seeing in what's going on around the world, what everyone needs to remember is that we rewalked creation. So what you're seeing play out is how the fuck it all started, no matter what it is. Now, Mercury, so that's Ophiuchus energy. Bridging in the 5D to the 3D. coming, and basically kind of being half out of the simulation, half into the cosmos, just like a double simian, operating just like a jinn or a pharaoh, because the sun is who you are. So right now, as a collective, the next 5 days, you're operating like a true pharaoh. The energy is here on your avatar to manifest like a true pharaoh. This is why the brains are starting to equal up. This is why you might have twitching in your face. You might have muscle twitching in your face. Because your right and left brain are lining up to be able to print right in front of you, because the cosmos is lined up. It's like the 3D, the big 5D printers being set up. Fuck the 3D printer. We don't need the 3D printer. We need the 5D printer. Cut from 6. Mercury is on Antares, and remember, Mercury is going backwards. And Antares, I've talked about it a lot. It's that direct shot down to Gemini, which is exactly what it's doing. It's sending it down. It's sending it down to Jupiter. We've already walked this forward. It's going backwards. It just went over Antares, and that's, so here we are. There's an organized group of what you would call Anunnaki groupies. I mean, really, like everyone in the entertainment industry, you can call them Anunnaki groupies. You can call them psychic groupies. You can call them empath groupies. You can call them deity groupies. You can call them deity wannabes. You can call them like... What's so crazy is that the truth is, in the celebrity world, they're the groupies. They are. Antares ended up, because it's a militant system. Well, whenever you're in the divine feminine flow energy of 5D, there's no need for military. Everybody's even got it wrong from, these future programs that we watch. They're all wrong. We're not going to go up on a star ring. Everybody's not going to be wearing matching jumpsuits. You're not going to go up on a ship. We've already done that. You might not have, but your ancestors did, because it was manifested down here, and we got lost in the dark side because that's what they were trying to do. It might feel like you missed out on something, but you did not. I mean, you can go try it if you want. Good luck getting back in. The other thing that's happening is this is an Ophiuchus reset. So it's if your family energy, or if your family is Ophiuchian, or if you ever held this energy, and through all of your lineages back to before you would know, and there's no way that you would know, any type of contract that was signed by one of them or by you is coming back up again. 2 of my most powerful girls that are on my team that I know by the end of this, right now they both look up to me, but I know that these 2, are their abilities way outshine mine once they get it all turned on in certain areas. And both of them have recently, one of them was asked to go to a certain hydrogen collider university and offered to go, but they didn't. The other one was about to enter a gateway project, really wanted to, asked my opinion. What I want y'all to understand with this example is that since it's coming back up right now, realize that is what you did. You already did it. It's how you ended up in the lifetime that you currently just lived. You didn't decide to go this time, but you did last time. The last time that this life cycle came around and we completed all this energy, however long ago that was, I wasn't here telling you about it. I was definitely dead. In my world, what I'm seeing is what happened on the last lifetime, how I ended up dying, how I ended up getting cremated and then put into a plot with my adopted mom. And that is exactly what ended up happening last time, which is why she could never carry me as a baby whenever we incarnated to come back in, because we weren't related in death, but we were buried together in death. I've been witnessing this past week that came up. It all just came up. It all came up in a conversation as to when you die, you can come and do that. No, thank you. Thank you very much, but no, thank you. I know way too much about death and rebirth. No fucking way are you putting me in a box with anything. Funny thing is, Marilyn Monroe, I just found out last week, her little drawer, I can't remember which character was that bought the drawer right above her, but then they ended up, when he died, they didn't do it. They put him next to her because they didn't even feel it was right for him buying the one right above her. I command all of the cremation drawers and all boxes and infrastructures on holes of death, caskets, coffins, cemetery plots, tombs, any four corners on death that kept everyone in cages. I command all corners turned round. No 90-degree angles. Everything's in a circle, and I command it to fill up and pop. So last time, I know I died. They didn't know what to do. So they threw me in, because who knows what year it was. So they threw me in a tomb with someone else. The other thing is, the day that I caught, because I started seeing this week. So I made a command that massive graves where they throw a whole bunch of bodies cannot hold trauma bonds in death. The very next day, Hamas fell. And all the people were freed from underground. Just to give you an idea of how they're hurting this across the globe, especially in the Middle East. Antares. Antares is all the knowledge, none of the wisdom. Antares will teach you to turn yourself into a little fly, to fly in to someone's house, to spy on them, but it ain't going to teach you how to blow yourself back up and get your body back when you're ready to leave the program. Antares will teach you to work together as a group, to gain some type of power, but Antares don't teach you, whenever you come up against the deity whose powers you stole, what to do about it. And remember, it was going straight down to Gemini. This Antares gate, like what I just said, it'll teach you how to shrink your body and move around the matrix. It'll send you messages. It'll send you messages to Aldebaran. It'll send you messages how to build New Earth. But are you getting it from them? Are you getting it from Ophiuchus? For a while, remember, there was only one way to get it, Antares. Basically, Antares is Anunnaki. Anunnaki is Azazi. Azazi is Draconic. Remember, there's white and black Dracos. We've lived in a realm where it was all black, white and black Draco and white and black energy. Period dot. Period dot. They're gonna equal out. So if they want to build the biggest black dragon in the cosmos, and they want to make the cosmos and space all one big black dragon, then all of us who are white Draco will multiply, and we will spread out, and we will match it. What we were living with down here is that we were always, the black was always dominating. What's happening now is that the white has not only dominated, but it's literally got the black to where it can't even exist. It's being smothered out. This is why you have to balance. You've got to hold the light and the dark. You can't, and it's a mastery, and it's a process that we're all still going through. Those of us who had to build up more shadow, it's like we had to walk the 3D. We had to walk these masculine things. We had to have money. People have to have food. I mean, when you're on Earth, I mean, you really do end up having to make a contract of some sort to get what you want. I'm not talking about a written contract to some demon. I'm talking about you and the universe. I'm talking about whatever you focus on. What is the most important resource? What is our most important resource from what you would consider our history? Time. That's why they set out all holy war, because they didn't want to run out of time. They invented all these ways of using masonry because they didn't want to be out of time. Now, the reason that all this is getting to where it is, and it's getting close, and Venus right now is sitting on Aquarius at 353, which is an 88 gate, and 0 degrees Aquarius, where Pluto is like the screen. It's like the veil, but it really is more like a giant green screen or blue screen that goes and a giant projector that projects to the collective. At 3 degrees, that's the wizard sitting behind the curtain. Venus is sitting there, not Mars. Mars isn't the wizard behind all this. It's Venus. Mars is over here in the deficit. Mars is backwards. Mars is like running through his mind right now. Mars is getting data deleted from his mind. He's getting new deleted. He's getting some added to it, depending on what Mars has been up to. Either they're losing consciousness and losing connections, or they're getting consciousness and gaining connections. And then whenever we start walking forward, there's going to be 2 different groups that are walking forward. Ones that are going through tribulation and about to lose everything and have to go through processing the same way we did. And the other ones either got it in time, saw enough to know they didn't want to do it that way, and jumped on ours, or have been the ones cleaning it up the whole time. Either way, there's going to be 2, because people are being ignorant. So whatever, it's only your soul, and it's only 1,000,000 years. So sure, go play Monopoly. Divine Mother is the one making the shots right now. You're watching the 5D energy. You're watching it finally. You're watching it. You're seeing it. It's playing out in the collective. But that's Venus over there. That's the divine feminine. This and everything that's happening is a correction of some sort. All we did was command everything to be connected correctly. All we did was command our 5D to line up so that we can continue what you'd consider evolution, and we can get some stability back down here. And so our ecosystem is made for high vibrational beings, not an ecosystem made to suck the life force out of high vibrational beings to give it to the ones who don't have any life force. Because the system was set up to suck the life force out of you. True note of the collective at 331 Aries. Well, we had to change 0 to 3. We changed and rewrote 0 to 3. So we're almost there. We're 31 minutes. So this is why we're still dealing with people coming over and asking me for 5,000 to turn me into an avatar so then they can Scientology some shit with some weird ass fucking med bed. Don't get in one of those, by the way. That's some type of military aircraft above my head. In 30 minutes, as this goes backwards, and that's why, because we're still dealing. It's like everything's running on the new record, but they're still trying to keep that record playing, and that's why it's that 31 minutes. When this gets into 3, this gets into the next few days. As this moves into 3, 2, 1. Oh my God. The chaos that we're seeing now is going to be multiplied across the collective. Get your popcorn. Get your popcorn. Everybody go to the store. Plan out your meals for the next few days. Anybody calls you all of a sudden frantic that there's some emergency and you need to get to them quickly, then ask a bunch of questions. Make sure there ain't no way that you can get them help another way with your abilities if you feel like you're not supposed to run out the door. Some of you are going to know you're supposed to run out the door because you're going to claim your shit. So, I mean, it's going to be both ways. It's going to pop up. Remember, it's going to try to connect. It's going to try to connect the way it did before we changed this record. You're no longer like, it's like a double-decker turntable. It's like a double-decker turntable. And the needle right now is still running on this top record, but what the people on this top record don't realize is that the record underneath it is really what's playing the tune, and the needle hadn't even hit it yet. That's why they think that there's a slim shot in hell that they can go do these 0-point maneuvers with Monopoly money in a backpack, because last time this energy was here, that's how they built United Healthcare. But it wasn't just that. It was the stealing of $700,000. It's connected to a stolen queen from Europe that ended up coming down here to start the new Americas in the early 1900s, because we walked all of that in order to bring down the monarchy. The moon is on Alpha Draconic Notice 2. So this is all based on this is why this is all coming up. The space stuff, the future stuff, Andromeda stuff, gates, traveling, the manifestation of corporations, the manifestation of timelines, and the whole world, if you know what you're looking for, is watching how this false like this false Ophiuchian energy manifested and created the corporations, the financial system, the money system, the barter system, how we live, how we do everything. It's all from Sagittarius energy. You're seeing how the last time we were in this cleanup of processions, how when we didn't make it out, we're watching as if we're dead from the clouds because we're watching it all play out again. Except this time we've got front row seats. Same fucking moves. Same moves. The moon is about to go over Chiron. This is why I'm over here talking about it. Chiron is where we lost contact before. And what is this? In between your etheric body, your new etheric body, Notice 2, and Andromeda. Ending up in a space program. And the aliens was always the last card. The aliens was always the last card. Realize, too, that that's why astronomy was the way to talk about it to get us out. Because of what they set up on the cosmos to trap us in. Otherwise, I wouldn't be the one over... If astronomy and the stars were not, and your brain were not what was being affected in the Matrix, then I wouldn't have ended up being the one over here telling you and knowing everything about this. It would have been somebody else that has an Akashic library that is not the cosmos and the stars and brain activity and neuro-linguistics. That's my specialty. If stars and the wrangling of stars and the binding of stars into electricity, into etheric bodies and all that isn't how the Matrix was holding, I wouldn't be the one telling you how to get out. And Cohu 32 wouldn't even be here. We'd be talking about shamanism. If shamanism was the way to get out, then you'd have a shaman over here telling you how to do it. And you'd have a shaman sitting over here telling you that they got out of the Matrix. Have you seen a shaman get out of the Matrix? If it was a Holy Vatican priest and it was only spiritual and you could get out of the Matrix with just doing the spiritual side, then that's what it would have been. And it would have been done a long time ago. What's happening is that, too, right now, and what was just delivered back is the 12 tribes that Yahshua took on the karma of the 12 tribes back in the desert. We just gave all their karma back to them. See, we can't, it's like the whole system, in order for us to get out, realize that that's what our line had to do. We've known that. We've known that the whole time. There was no way to get out of the system unless you lived through the karma and were somewhat involved somehow in 12 different groups that were all utilizing human harvesting and energy. Because if I wouldn't have at least had an idea of what each tribe had been up to for the last 1,000 years, there's no way I could have seen the subtleties and I could have picked up on what I picked up on getting us out of here. The only reason and this is why Yahshua and Mary Magdalene and this whole thing even fucking existed. When we did it back then, we did it in Ophiuchus intention energy. It's how it was created. We purposely took on your bags and your karma. You know why? We've done this so many times, and it was the last fucking way to try to get us out of this. So fuck it. We'll do 70,000 years and we'll take on all your karma. But then don't come around and try to use the same plan that we were involved with in the beginning, dumb motherfuckers. We're the ones who came up with the plan. We took on your karma. The only reason you had a free pass this whole time was because the human race needed to get out of this bubble in 2024. Every single one of you abused your free pass over and over and over and over, which we knew that you would do. Why the hell do you think we took on all 12? So what the world needs to understand right now is it don't matter what DNA line you came from. It don't matter what your family was ever involved in. That 12 karma cycles that have existed over here for a millennia and then have all been put together and made into a story that is feasible for the human race, not whatever the fuck they wanted. All of them have been put together and trued back up. None of it's going to work. None of your little individual bullshit or your NATO teaming up with 3 or 4 or whatever the hell, there isn't anything that y'all can come up with that hasn't already been come up with, solved, and recreated. And by the way, we know exactly what every move you're going to make up until then. You know, at the end of this, when and I mean, they're still asking me for money. In their world, I have all the money in the world. In their world, and even they can't figure out why I don't have any money because they feel my money energy. Our money energy came in 2020. That's why they were all over us. Our money. That's why they were like, just send me $500. Just send me $700. Well, some of them we did, and some of them we did it quickly. But I don't think that they understand how we manifested that money to be able to pay them. We did it by cleaning up their past. We manifested the money to pay them by cleaning up the death of their past. That means that they are shortly going to cease to exist. Command all Pleiadian strongholds blow. And I command any Pleiadian healing moves that these Pleiadians, this blonde chick, man, I saw a video last night and I almost wanted to shoot an arrow at her. She was on a TikTok, this Pleiadian chick that they backed and that goes around telling about her little star missions, but she's not doing any etheric body healing. She's part of the problem. She doesn't understand it yet. And everyone doesn't get it yet. But what she said is that, oh yeah, I went and healed Kate Middleton. What was happening was they made a clone. Kate wanted out and they made a clone of her and I went and remote viewed it and they were separating her body and separating Kate's consciousness from this clone and I went and put them back together and oh my God, it worked. Well, that could be how the Pleiades got made. That girl right there doing what she did in that time count, not having full knowledge of what she just did because she has no idea exactly what she's playing with. And then her going and mixing a clone batch with a dead consciousness. Probably created the Pleiade. That's how everybody got bound in clone land. So I command it cut. In fact, any being that made a DNA move and did anything to anybody's bodies without having full knowledge of a death and resurrection cycle in the middle of a 0.4 year cycle, and you just did it off some emotional response because you think that that person needs to live, but you don't understand that the whole divine feminine was fucking tortured and buried to make that one Kate soul. And then you just took a dead brain consciousness and put it in a clone? It's nuts. Jupiter's in number 6 now. This is raw consciousness. This is why all this stuff is what I just said, what I just talked about body changes and beings that have powers, that think that they can just go do whatever. I mean, that's the same thing as going and making a bunch of flying monkeys. Okay, you can, but should you? And this is where people get me all wrong, because they think that I'm just over here just half willy, like making commands. Oh no, honey, that ain't what's been going on. I trained for 4 years in order to be able to, and I got the karma every goddamn time that I fucked up, and it was severe. And I got the karma for coming over here and telling all y'all what was going on the whole time, and it was severe. But whatever manipulation that the Pleiadians were convinced that they needed to help a Kate Middle on a Washington, because the only thing that they were pissed off about in the end, they're not even pissed off about losing. They're not even pissed, like, really. Because it's like when you're going down final count, if you're going to hell for 1,000,000 years, it's like, fuck it, let's just try it. Well, I'm trying to think if there's anything I can do on that. Just give me a second. Well, we'll just command that all Hyades, because what I've been seeing is that Hyades and Pleiades mirror each other. Basically, this is like that you're in space hell, or you're in a gilded cage in space hell, being made to cook people and keep an Aquarian age going in a fake ass creative consciousness, or because that's really what Pleiadians became. Because you're still in Taurus. I mean, you still got to walk 10 houses to get all the way around. Pleiades are the grandbabies of the whole thing. They shouldn't be doing etheric surgery. Pleiadians, you're a if you're a Pleiadian, be really fucking careful about what you just take out of your head and run with. Because remember, you're a satellite. You're picking up everybody. You're picking up everybody. You're picking up the chatter. You're picking up people's phone calls. You're picking up everything. If you do not have a background of that'd be like me going and getting a whole bunch of plants and saying, all right, now I'm a botanist and here's what I'm going to do with all the plants and the herbs. I'm just going to change all the seeds. Fuck it. But I don't know anything about botany because I don't know shit about plants. That ain't my specialty. If you see a problem and you're a botanist, then you need to use botany in order to fix the problem. But realize that when you do, you're processing that change through your body and you're having to become the plant. That's why you're the botanist, not me. I print people. The human body and the human brain is my Akashic library because I'm a cosmic being and that's where it's formed. So in my journey and process, I'm going to rebirth and come out of the body. I'm going to have to rebirth and fix the brain. If I was a botanist, I'd be coming out of a plant type of energy. Coming out of it, I'm going to know what I did to it before. That's how I became a botanist. If you're a botanist, then most likely most of your magic or whatever was used in your family line had to do with herbs and botany and transformation and transmutation of organic matter. That's why your body has that in it. That's why you see things the way you do. Mine's all from straight air in the word and moving physics with sound and color. And I'm not the only one. I'm just giving y'all an example. I'm just giving everybody an example. If you have diarrhea right now, it's because of this moon clearing. When you get diarrhea, it's moon magic and it's flushing because it's dealt with the acids in your stomach. And Pennsylvania was a gastric sleeve on the United States. So I think that's it. I needed to come on and do that. Thank you for the 3 that are waiting for charts. I want to thank you for waiting and thank you for trusting me. And now I can even come on and say why we had to do that, put the brakes on for 2 weeks. And it's because there were a couple of charts that we did progressed on a couple of the girls. Well, realize that in this wide open 0 point, whenever I did the progressed on a 1960s chart or a 1950s chart, in the middle of doing everyone's charts, we really did progress it in 1960 and 1950 and we changed the past energetics in order to finish this. So now what's happening, we got the one that was the first one that got a natal and then a progress chart. We just finished both of those charts, and now I'm about to do the girl that got the progressed, and we're doing her natal. So now it's basically like over the past couple of weeks, we had to go back to the past from an energetic cosmic energy connection, electricity, what Wi-Fi became, any types of poles that were holding down energetics down here at all, and all of it, all of that got changed. Like the energy got changed, and now we're linking it back into the natals. So, and just so everyone realizes, and I know the website's not working right now, but my website's basically being held hostage. Just so everyone understands what's happening. Michelle and I both throughout the past 7 years have had 4 domains stolen from GoDaddy, to where they even have this domain up, but whenever I call, my name is completely blacked out and I'm no longer connected to the domain. How we even got Cohu32 and got the domain and got the website up was me playing with danger when I did it, because of who and how I had to build it. And it was all connected into New Jersey, and it's connected into Facebook, and it's connected into Meta Grids, and it's connected into TikTok. And it's all running from the Lyric Center, New York energetics that domed over into New Orleans and anchored in Houston on Louisiana Street in downtown Houston. It anchored basically New York and Houston together in one big energetic compound. Kind of like one over the other. And in my world, it's like, and remember, so that's what's going on with that right now. And so we understand that. Now, I'm even bringing that up because we were all on target, and the timeline completely changed at the 1st of November. Our timeline completely changed at the 1st of November. We got knocked off of it because the timeline that we were on wasn't going to take us anywhere. The timeline that we were on was the next one up. We needed to get on it because we needed to ride it for a minute. But it wasn't where we wanted to end up. We had to go back and change these energetics with the group of charts that we did. So as far and we found we're moving forward with education materials. There's going to be a lot more that's coming out education wise that you can have at home, because realize Cohu 32 is basically your tools that you'll be able to use to navigate your reality in a 5D while you're birthing your energetic body. You're in a video game now. The Cohu 32 tools, the cards, what we're getting out, what your energy is, we're all just understanding what the energy is going on so that we know how to navigate the wheel consciously. And your reality is showing you exactly what you need, and you're learning now. And if you have had your chart done, you're tuning in and starting to pick up these different layers, and you won't know exactly what you need to know until you know it, until you need to. You won't be shown your gift. Just realize that a lot of your powers aren't going to come out of you unless you're scared or freaked out. And it doesn't mean that you have to be in some horrifying situation. I mean, it could even, it could be a wreck that's happening right in front of your car. And the wreck is going to happen right in front of your car, and you see it seconds before. You've never had sight before. Your third eye's never been open like that before, but all of a sudden you see a wreck happening right in front of you, and you move lanes, and sure as shit, as soon as you move over, that car starts rolling in front of you. That's whenever you're going to figure out that you have sight. The wreck happens. You stop. You hear, go pull the person out of the car. You're running on pure adrenaline. You run, you pull the person out of the car. You hear them, they can't breathe. You hear their lungs collapsing. You hear, grab a straw. Somebody get a pen. I need a pocket knife. Fucking help. You've never done this shit before. You grab the pocket knife, you grab the straw, you puncture the lung, the guy fucking lives. You walk away from the thing and you're traumatized for 3 days because you don't know how the fuck you just did that. Then you realize that you've been saying, God help, God use me, angels use me, I'm here to help. However I can help, I'm here. Well, that's it. You did it. You saved that man's life. You didn't die. You changed the timeline. You did it. That's when you realize what you can do. I'm happy to see the 14 on here. The other, I don't know at night what energetic my YouTube's running, but at least the views are getting up. I'm actually becoming really good. It might even become how I become famous, is telling these people how to screw off in a wise way that's pretty damn funny, because it feels like I'm practicing stand-up comedy over here when I get over here at night on YouTube. So that's where we're at right now. I love you guys. I just wanted to come on and say that. Thank you for being patient with me. We're doing it all correctly. I just want to tell the group that came in, thank you. Y'all are doing a great job. Everybody is doing a great job. And this is where we're at. This is the 4th day of 0 point. We've had 4 days of 0 point. So since the 6th, we've been in a 4-day 0 point day. Is that making sense to y'all now, what's going on in the world? So today is the last 0 point day. We're going to have 4 days at a 4 count. So the next 4 days are going to be 1 day. And then we're going to have 3 days that are 1, and then 1 day, and then 0. And then guess what? It lands on the equinox on the 21st. So this is the last 0 point day. Then we'll have 4 days that are building from whatever changes we made in these 4 days of 0 point. And just remember, we're the wizard, but we just opened up and pulled down the whole fucking curtain. What everybody's realizing is that the wizard wasn't just one. The wizard was all your missing children throughout timelines that everyone's so concerned about, but yet is not doing the right things to help, because everyone thinks you need to change you need to save the children, not the mothers. No, the mothers are the missing children.